Alrighty, there we go. Hello, everybody. Let me just review real quick. Well, now it says one's watching. Anyways, okay. So you were saying you and your mom went to see a Kevin Sorbo movie?
Yeah, the new Left Behind movie.
Okay, yeah, I know
I
he's been
think it
doing a
was
lot more of those lately.
yeah. I think it was sort of a sequel to Nicolas Cage started years ago,
Hmm.
but I can't be sure. I'm not sure whether they're trying to start it all over again with a little bit.
Of a more
Sorbo was
modern
playing
take.
that character, Rayford. Yeah. Um. Um. With like I said, Kevin Sorbo was playing Rayford, which Nicolas Cage played, so it's hard to tell.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, anyways, all right. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. The our This is our nightly. This is our weekly look at comics history. We're continuing our trip down comics history lanes. We're still in August of 1939. Tonight we'll be focusing in on Centaur Comics and David McKay publications. Rick, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, as you just let everybody know, my name is Rick, which I have no problem with you letting everybody know. I am the head of Cross Comics. I have a YouTube channel, Twitter thing, and out there on a whole bunch of social media. I create Christian comics, and right now, you can check them out on Indiegogo. There is the Canadian Shield 2 and more up there.
And
And I'll
if
put a
you, of
link
course,
for
would
in the
like to
chat
share,
for
if
that.
you'd like, yes, if you'd like to share your link too with the chat, so people can find you, share any and all your links. That would be cool as well. Yep, I thought so. Blasted YouTube, been
Well,
doing it
what's
so many
YouTube
times.
done?
So basically, the video is not keeping up with the stream for some reason.
Ah,
On the when I go onto the when I go onto the when I go onto the like if I go away from the page or something like that, like the video won't keep up for some reason. So that's what I was. Um,
that may or may not be on your end. It's hard to say.
yeah, I don't think it's on my end because
But no,
but
what I mean is more if you're watching it in YouTube, it might be. It shouldn't be, but I know I have had those problems a lot where the lag.
well the thing is that I've only been having them more recently. I never had that. I hadn't really, my video had always kept up. You know,
Yeah,
But then when I like right now, I'm watching it on Streamyard. If I go back to the YouTube screen, it would like, um, yeah, it's like the
yeah,
video is not caught up here unless I refresh. I have to refresh it every time I go back there.
yeah.
So
The thing is too, sometimes, well, there's always a slight delay, a couple seconds or whatever.
yeah, but
That's
this is
supposed to
more
be
than a
there.
slight delay.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I'll
it's when it
pull it
probably
up
gets
so you
up.
can. I'll pull it up so then that way you can probably see for yourself what I'm talking about. So like,
I believe you. It's just
um, so you see at the end there.
yeah, yeah. Can you pull that right to the end?
Well, I just
Okay,
refreshed it now, and that
and now it's gonna.
but I have a feeling that if I go away, in fact, I can already tell it looks like it's like the StreamYard is running faster than the YouTube
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It. I'm just saying on the YouTube end for you, it might be there. Somebody else unfortunately can't tell. Well, actually, you know what? Here, let me.
I
Um.
never had that problem before up until maybe the last few weeks here. So,
Let
um,
me. I need to look at time.
but anyways,
I mean,
any,
like each.
yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Anyways, though, start to try to move on a little bit here is okay. So, just to remind everybody, if you guys can like and share the stream, um, see if we can get some more friendly people here. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment or ask questions. We'll try to answer the questions as best we can. Rick, you know that when we start to read the comment, if anything grabs your attention, be on ready to to feel free to comment as we're reading as well.
Yeah.
So, what we're gonna do now, of
Uh,
course. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna let you know. I was watching them side by side in the thing here and the YouTube. On my YouTube, there doesn't seem to be really any lag.
Yeah. It may just be on my
So if
end for
that
some
helps you
reason.
feel, yeah.
Yeah.
If that hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better.
Well, what would really make me feel better if it stopped doing that, considering it's never had a history of doing that before. That's what I'd
Yeah.
like to happen. You know.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk here. Hey, Shadowhawk. We see you there, man. Yeah, we're kind of discussing some technical issues here, but thank you for dropping in, my friend. And we are about to start talking about the comics history here. So if you want to sit back, relax, and of course, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment on it. Right now, we're going to look over Ace Comics, Volume 1, Issue 30 from David McKay Publications. We're just going to just kind of breeze through, what some of the stories are real quick here, as we don't have the actual book. And then afterwards, what's up, Mike? Not much. I'm telling you right now what we're doing. Um, you know, so after that, we're going to be reading over some stories from Centaur Comics. So with that, let's take a look at the. Oh, before we do that too, we're gonna do some preview work too. Anyways, this is Ace Comics number 30 from David McKay Publications. It was in 1937. So on the cover there, of course, is the Captain Jammer kid, which a lot of people. Well, I think one of the things that one of my former co-hosts was telling me was that the Captain Jammer kids were kind of a rip off of the Captain of the or it was the other way around. I think it's actually the other way around. Captain of the Kids. Jungle Jim Bradley from Alex Raymond right there. Jungle Adventure. Nicodemus O'Malley. Children, Fantasy Supernatural. Just Kids. Cyrano de Bergerac Jr. Children. Seeing
That
Stars.
AD Carter did a lot on that one.
Uh,
I said the AD Carter did a lot of stories on that one.
on this.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like two or three of him.
Thus far, yeah. Sports and Pictures, Curly Harper at Lakespur. We're just going through this real quick. Just, etiquette. Get the word pun right there, Rick? There was a feature called Etiquette by Paul Robinson there. Teen humor. Do you kind of get the humor there? I bet you that. I bet you that.
For sure.
I bet you that was a strip that had something to do with a young lady acting prim and proper.
Well, it
You
could be
think?
a guy acting prim and proper too,
How many guys do
or
you
both.
know have the first name Etta? Especially back then. Not,
Yeah,
not looking at from today's perspective. Back then, how many guys do you
yeah,
really think had the first name Etta? Etta is usually is
yeah,
traditionally been considered a girl's name.
yeah. I can get that, but she could be instructing all the boys and girls on etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh, that could be, yeah. Yeah,
need
you
to
have,
walk straight,
yeah.
no slouching.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Barney Google and Snuffy Smith, which is another like King Features, the popular strip. Actually, they did make a cartoon out of it, from what I understand. Because I haven't actually watched the specific cartoons themselves, but I've seen that they're on classic tunes on Pluto TV that I watch. So, and Billy DeBeck was the one who was credited with the scripting and the artwork there. Miss Smith, if you ain't hard put, I'd like to body. See, Tim Tyler's Luck from Lyman Young, Hal Foster's Prince Valiant, Blondie, which is
Well,
again another popular
yeah,
genre humor, domestic, kind of humorous slice of life.
yeah. It's
Uh,
really done the test of time. Blondie, I think even it's in comic strips today still.
yeah, Tilly the Toiler from Russ Westover. Um, that one's they call I guess soap opera. Hold it, Tilly. There's no privacy. Drama, humor, Crazy Cat. I think
Crazy
that one is another
cat.
one that may have had a cartoon adaptation. I think I did. The Phantom from Lee Falk. Well, written by Lee
Ooh,
Falk and art by Ray Moore. Lee Falk also did Mandrake the Magician, which Mandrake at this point in time was featured in King Comics, I believe, along with Flash Gordon, Alex Raymond's Flash Gordon. Uh, on the Longo Plain, the great pitched battle approaches. Adventure jungle superhero reprints from Phantom Daily Strips, King Feature Syndicate, May 28th, 29th, 31st, and June 5th of 1937, but one panel was omitted. Probably the 30th, I would guess. um,
yeah,
and this is a popular thing they did back then was reprinting old strips. So, um, let's see, Teddy and Sitting Bull by Joe Musial, um, The Pussycat Princess, Room and Board, Daffy Doodles. So that's what we have for those. So
Daffy Doodles.
now,
Wondered if Daffy Duck. I wonder if that's where they got the name.
what a,
Probably not.
I don't think so, because I think Daffy wasn't even around at that point yet. I don't think Daffy debuted until the 40s. But Daffy,
Yeah,
part of the reason why Daffy Duck got his name there, of course, was that the term
he was a
Daffy
bit
meant
daffy.
kind of like, yeah, like crazy, loony kind of thing. So, anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess Shadowhawk must have left. Uh, but Rick, are
lurking.
you are you on the are you still on the YouTube page? Do you still have it on on
Yeah,
our, because it's still only
I
saying
have
one.
it. I have it in an open menu. It was in the taskbar though. It was
Uh,
minimized, so I
so
don't know whether that
maybe it's
does anything.
okay. Maybe it's just not registering. Okay, so I'm gonna go off camera for a moment. But if you want to do some promotion real quick, while I do something real quick, I'll be right back.
I can do that. Hey, how are you people? Are you still there, Shadowhawk? Yeah, like I said, you're lurking. The shadow knows. The Shadowhawk is in the background. He blends in till he's ready to strike. He's like a shadow and like a hawk. Blends in till he sees his target and then strikes like a hawk. What do you think of that, Shadow? Did you even hear that?
Let me see if that helps at least a little bit there, or at least with the view count. Anyways,
Shadow says, I'm still here. Wife Jack had to give the wife a hand with the groceries.
okay. So,
And
anyways,
then
now
we're
that
laughing.
now we're gonna of course do just give me a sec here while I just do something real quick. I gotta just get the next screen set up for what we're going to do now. So let me see. I'm just trying to. So yeah, Centaur Wiki.
Shadowhawk, so is that an actual character you've created? If not, since I just did that little thing about your name, I heard you. Are you guys not seeing? I'm seeing you type. Actually, I'm not seeing you type. I'm seeing what you've typed after you hit the enter button. And Mike's getting the next thing under.
All right. So let's go ahead and set this thing up a bit here. Let's see. All right. So before we get into our actual readings, of course, got a couple of introductions here. One will be Amazing Man, and the other will be and the other will be the other will be the Arrow. Sorry. Just anyway.
and not
So
and not related to the Arrow TV show.
right. Well, this we'll get into that in a moment. And so this Amazing Man was created by Bill Everett, which is kind of ironic because there was, of course, I know some of you may know there was another Amazing Man whose actual name within Kanan was Will Everett for DC, but that's not the guy we're talking about here. This is another guy named Amazing Man who initially started out with Centaur Publications, was also a part of Malibu and Marvel. His real name was John Amon. No, let's see.
That's
Ability: slightly superhuman strength, speed, and endurance, and ability to turn into a green mist. We'll look at that more, but so let me just do the little intro here. Amazing Man John Amon is a fictional American comic book superhero whose adventures were published by Centaur Publications during the 1930s and to 40s in the golden age of comic books. Historians credit his creation variously to writer artist Bill Everett or to Everett together with Centaur art director Lloyd uh, Jacquet. Um, Amazing Man first appeared in Amazing Man Comics number 5, September 1930. Of course, September 1939 is the cover date. August is when it went on sale. So,
yeah. I find something interesting here. I didn't expect Marvel at all because I know DC has their own Amazing Man or has in the past.
well, yeah, well, but this was not originally as a part of. So as it says here, the character influenced the creation origin of Charlton Comics 1960 superhero Peter Cannon Thunderbolt, as well as Marvel Comics Iron Fist character in the 1970s. But I think this is one of those cases, much like with some of the characters DC had picked up over the years, from like Fawcett and Quality and all that, who
Mm.
who they basically bought up and absorbed as to make part of their universe. But
Uh,
so publication history here. Let's see. During the golden age of comic books, Centaur publication produced Amazing Man, eponymous series, Amazing Man Comics, which ran from issues number 5 to 20. Now, this is another one of those situations where, for whatever reason, they didn't start with a number 1, or in this case, 2, 3, or 4. They just number 5 is technically the first issue of Amazing Man Comics.
I would
Why?
think somehow,
I can't
although
tell
they've,
you. Why? I cannot tell you. But
yeah.
I think
I was gonna say I surmised that it was probably called something beforehand, 1 through 4, but nobody knows why,
yeah. I mean, it's
and
probably
they
one of those
don't know
things that's
that
why.
he first appeared to time.
Yeah.
And Shadowhawk, yeah. Now that you mention about the character from Image, I remember the thing. I might even have one of the books for Shadowhawk.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, anyways, so let's see. What should I? Well, we can learn. Well, I guess this is short enough to where we can just get through it real quick. John Amon is an orphan from the West, chosen for his quote superb physical structure to be raised by benevolent monks in Tibet for the first 25 years of his life. Each member of the Council of Seven, as the monks are known, trained him to a superhuman degree of physical and mental ability. While
Oh, geez, who's that sound like?
it sounds like a lot of heroes of this time period. Sounds like
Yeah, well,
you know
okay.
yeah, it sounds like a very. I think it's a common theme from back in this point in time. Um, while also giving him the ability via a chemical solution to disappear into a cloud of green mist, earning him the secondary title of the Green Mist. After receiving his final test, he is sent into the world to use his skills and abilities to do good, opposing Amon, as he was often known, is his nemesis, the opposing Amon. I get okay now. I get it. As he was often known, his nemesis, the Great Question, a disgruntled member of the Council of Seven. Now, of course, we're
I
not
was
into.
gonna,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna, I was gonna say, since he was known as the Green Mist, if there's a comic, the Green Mist 1 through 4, that could be him, or could be the what was beforehand.
Well, it might be possible, but I don't think that. I don't really think that's the case because, um,
Yeah,
only because the way they wrote this story, I think if I
yeah,
understand correctly, the way they wrote this story, um, this may have been his origin story.
yeah.
So
Well, sometimes they didn't tell the origin story in the
right,
right
and I know,
ones.
and a good example of that was, of course, Batman. You know,
Yeah,
because
and
Batman they didn't
even
tell his
Action
origin
Comics.
until. All right, so here's the other guy I wanted to introduce tonight, the Arrow. So the Arrow is a fictional character, a superhero originally published by Centaur Publications. The character first appeared in 1938 in Funny Pages number 21, numbered volume 2, number 10, dated September 38. Of course, that was his That was a cover date. After Centaur Publications went out of business, the Arrow, along with most other company properties, lapsed into public domain. The Arrow was briefly revived um, by Malibu. Okay, so yeah, many of the characters from Centaur were picked up for a while by Malibu in the '90s. So, but anyways, publisher Centaur Publications, Funny Pages number 21. Of course, we'll be reading out of Funny Pages 31 tonight. Created by Paul Gustafson. Um, During his time in Centaur, his alter ego was Ralph Payne, um, highly skilled archer. Now, let me see. Let's see here. So, according to Centaur, the original Arrow is Ralph Payne, a member of the U.S. intelligence agency. Feeling that he could not effectively fight crime in his civilian guise, he turns to costume crime fighting, becoming the Arrow. His primary weapon is his skill with the bow and arrow. Um, though he is good fighting even without his weapons. Like many heroes of his era, he fights crime, Nazi spies, and saboteurs. And I think they did have. Let's see, legacy. I know there was. I know there was some notes I read somewhere. I think this guy was actually. This guy was actually, I think, the first. I know. There it is. There, that's what I was looking for. Today, the Arrow is mostly remembered for being the first American superhero to rely on archery as a primary gimmick. That's where I was going with trying to find that note. So this guy was actually the first superhero where archery was his primary gimmick.
So most likely DC ripped off him to create Green Arrow.
Green Arrow, yeah, that's possible. So
Everybody,
anyway, so
asks
now,
who came first, Green Arrow or Hawkeye. Well, they forget this Arrow guy
yeah,
came before even Green Arrow.
yep, yeah. He predates them all. So with that, then now it's time for us to get into actual reading.
Yay!
Oops, wrong. Let's see. Let me go down to this one. Let's see. Comic books. So I believe I said we were going to start with Amazing Men comics, then go over to Keen Detective, and then go to Amazing Mystery, and then finish up with the Arrow in Funny Pages. So that's the order. Yeah, okay, Chester Charlton. So right there, Rick.
Yeah,
All right, we'll be getting started soon here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, yeah, Amazing Man comics.
Shadowhawk says, I don't care who came first. Green Arrow is still the best Archer character.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see because we'll be reading that. That'll be the last story we read tonight. So we'll see. We'll see what we have. So yeah, we're at the half hour mark there. So let's get going with it. So Amazing Man comics, September 10th. Look at that. He's all bound, fighting off an eel. Looks like.
Yeah.
Look at that comic.
Eel! Instead of ew,
Hard to
it's
beat.
eel!
It's hard to beat these two top-notch features, both in the same magazine. Every page packed with exciting episodes and thrills and mystery. Now appearing in amazing mystery funnies in full color. Phantom of the Fair, Speed Centaur, those two features. Yeah, we'll be reading the Phantom of the Fair feature when we over there. So won't probably spend a whole lot of time, outside of the main story because each of the main stories we're talking about are like the first story of the book. So we'll probably just go right on to, So, anyways, the Amazing Man. So here we go. Now we'll get into the reading here. So let's get started here. Amon, known to his enemies by many aliases, the most terrifying of which is, quote unquote, the Green Mist. 25 years ago, in the dismal country of Tibet, the Council of Seven chose an orphan of superb physical structure, and each did his part to develop in this child all the characteristics of a man who would dominate the world of men by his strength, knowledge, and courage. Mature now, the amazing man Amon sits chained before the council, waiting for his final test before setting forth into the outside world. Six of the council have endowed him with the benefits of kindness and tolerance and bravery. But a seventh, quote unquote, the great question, covets plans of dire evil for the perfect boy. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. And I see Mr. Dire Evil.
yeah. So in the council chamber, a sleep ray holds the lad motionless. Gentlemen, the time
No, I must
has
say,
what?
I was just gonna say, look at. I know they're not pointed, but I don't think this was the best costume for these guys, even back then.
Oh, because of what it, particularly in the states and in the southern part. You mean?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's kind of funny because that's kind of the thing, and this was not the only comic book company to do this either. In terms of utilizing a white hood as a symbol of evil, and you know this is a bad guy because he's got a question mark on his head, on his um.
eh,
So, anyway,
yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah. But they're all supposed to be good. Well, all except for the one are supposed to be good guys. It's just like, um, not sure whether this is a good idea. But let's go on.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that if some of those SJWs we always talk about, they notice this, they'd probably be roaring and hollering too. So,
Yeah.
um, the time has last arrived when we must qualify our efforts of the past quarter of a century. Our child prodigy shall now prove his station as an amazing specimen of ultra manhood. Prepare him for the first test. Ultra manhood. Interesting phrasing there, huh?
Yeah.
And this one's, of course, 10 pages, of course. All right, so, oh, all right. You want to do this guy's voice, Rick?
Okay. I am the strongest man in Tibet. Be prepared. The first examination of your physical strength. You are required to suppress the strength of an elephant. Well done, lad. He is no match for you. You have begun well.
The first test, of course. Okay, so thank you, sires. It was not difficult. I am ready for the next test. And here's the question. So the next Amon is not so easy. You are to be chained hand and foot and must fight a death struggle with the deadliest of our enemies. This kind of
Cobra
goes to the cover,
Commander!
doesn't it? Let me introduce your combatant, the Honorable Cobra. Cobra!
It's Cobra Commander. No.
The second test, nearly helpless, Amon crouches on the ground, paralyzed as the cobra strikes. Oh, look at that! There's the cover scene right there. Look at that, him
Or
biting into
close.
the
It's slightly
cobra.
different, but yeah, it's
Well,
close.
yeah, the color scheme's a little different. The background color there is a little different. It's blue.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
and the angle is a bit different.
yeah. Uh huh. But with the speed and precision of a mongoose, a mon strikes at the
And the
same instant.
strength of the puma and bear.
Yeah, a little black star there, right?
Brave Star.
Or Brave Star, actually, yeah, Brave Star.
Ah, bad.
Yeah. Again, well done, Amon. Thou art quicker than lightning. But now we must test your capacity for withstanding pain.
I don't think he's quicker than lightning. He's just quicker than the cobra.
Um, you you are acquainted with Lady Xena, the knife thrower. She then is your next inquisitor. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at how they drew her.
Yeah.
Rick
Va va
would you
voom.
huh, would you not mind having a lovely lady like that throwing knives at you?
Take away the throwing knives at me, and you might have a
Stop!
because I
You
don't
will
really want
slay me! Stop! You will slay me! Hold, hold, lad. Oh, Amon, unless you become troublesome, now quickly, now quickly, does it? The third test. Neatly placed. Sorry. Neatly placed, Xena, and the pain is not unbearable. But what do you demand of me next? I can only stand just so much. Your physical tests are over, Amon. You are nearly perfect. The fourth test. Now, Amon, you may be seated while you answer these thousand diversified questions involving the languages of all the civilized and uncivilized countries. Wow.
Oh, that's gonna take a while.
Uh huh.
A
But
thousand
a lot of
questions.
a lot of training he's apparently been doing is very similar to Batman too, in a way, because Batman, also trained to physical and mental, exception, you know, for many hours the incessant questioning goes on, but Amon never falters, and finally, let's see, il n'y a pas bel coup de uh,
Kuvas ni savas pas mon fils
que vous
meas.
ne savez pas mon fils mais. You have successfully completed all of your examinations, young Amon, and are judged. So finally, the verdict, and you are judged by the council to be ready for your venture into the outer world. Go now and prepare yourself.
I was gonna say, look, it's Spock or Vulcan.
Just a moment. I would have a word with you alone, Amon. Yes, Nika. What is it? You want to do Nika here? Because I don't think Nika is the one with the question mark there.
No, but although you did do his voice in the last panel, he's the one.
Okay.
To,
Oh, maybe he is
but
the one. Okay.
I can take
Um.
him over though if you want.
Well,
Oh,
I was
come.
just trying to give you. I was just trying to. I'll give you the next guy. I guess. I'm not sure if this. Okay. So, um, come, come into the laboratory, son. I have something to show you. You may reclaim my experiment with a formula to cause invisibility. Oh, recall. Okay, recall my experiment. Okay. Well, I have at last perfected it to a degree. There are certain complications, however. For instance, I shall inject this fluid hypodermically, and when it takes effect, you will, by the mere process of willing yourself to it, be able to make yourself disappear. However, in your absence, there will come a thick mist, green in color. Yeah. Now, guys using chemicals to alter their structure or what have you. This was another common later in
Yeah,
Centaur comics, Dollman would do it. Dollman was, you can say, predates Ray Palmer's Atom of Silver Age, where
yeah,
he was powered by a dwarfer. Well, Dollman in Centaur in quality comics would you at times he'd use either solutions or chemicals to to actually be able to shrink down to the size of a doll. But anyways,
yeah. Tim's here and he says he is empowered by his own fart. The only problem with this is he says,
Brat.
yeah, yeah, I think he was trying to spell out a fart sound. Um, but the only problem I see with this is okay, he becomes invisible. Is he invisible or is just a green cloud masking where he is? But then you know where he is because there's a green cloud, sort of, um, or green mist, sort of, negates the invisibility factor.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if Tim really wants to hear a fart sound, okay, I can't do it. I could do it when I was back in high school. I'm sure. You know what I was trying to do, right, Rick?
Yeah, you're trying to do this.
Yeah. I have a new chemical to inject in your body. It's called heroin. Anyway. All right. Anyways, moving on with the story, of course. There, you see, you may feel a little ill for a moment, Amon, but it will pass. Now you are gradually fading. Excellent, Amon. My formula is a success. Now, please, bring yourself back to visibility. Just imagine yourself in solid form, and you will be. Good, my boy. I will give you a vial of this fluid, which you must take faithfully once every week. Never forget. And there is one more thing. You must always remember to promise to me to always do good and never. So this might have been a different. Oh, there's the question right there. So these are different guys. These were different guys because I was doing the guy with the question mark. Oh well. Um,
Yeah, I knew he wasn't the guy with the question mark.
yeah. Always do good, and never maliciously harm a brother human without just cause. Go now, my boy. Your ship is waiting.
Okay, he better know how to
Uh,
make this because he only gave him a vial for, enough to do a little while.
hmm.
And I don't think he gave
Yeah,
him
I mean
enough to
that
do.
something that I was just thinking that too. I was wondering, well, okay, if they trained him in both to physical and mental peak, likely he may, maybe it's just done off panel here, but maybe he did in fact give him the formula to recreate the formula as needed.
Yeah, it's just not said, so you don't know.
Hmm. So Nika has made him promise to do good. So he is quaintly, so quaintly he quaintly puts as he so quaintly puts it. Well, I shall correct that. Amon shall do always as I command him. He cannot escape my telepathic influence. Later, unconscious of the great question's evil plans for his welfare, Amon receives the High Lama's parting blessing and boards his plane. For many hours, the little ship hums eastward over Manchukuo and out over the Pacific, stopping only to refuel. After an uneventful passage across the sea, Amon pilots his plane to a gentle landing in Seattle, Washington. Here, he learns interesting news.
T- Tim says, I swear, it's not my pee. And then he says, the high Loomis? I don't think that's what he said. And Tim's, Seattle? Just in from China, eh? Guess you haven't heard about the wreck on the Union Port Western Line then.
Hmm.
Just cracked up
Oh, okay.
near Sheridan, Wyoming. I figured
Oh,
I'd get
well,
ahead since you said the next guy.
yeah. Okay. Good. Because I didn't even realize that. I almost went to it, but thank you for doing that. Um, Back in his ship, soaring eastward again, Amon decides on a hunch to investigate the wreck. In a few hours, he darts down over the jumble of twisted steel and settles the little plane on an adjacent clearing. You want to do the guy in the cowboy hat there?
Here, partner, give us a hand with this eerie lad.
Sure thing, cowboy. How long ago did these trains crack up? And then,
Three
hold on a
hours.
second.
Okay.
Amon learns of other wrecks from the cowhand and of how the state suspects sabotage or other treachery. Now go.
About 3 hours ago, I reckon. Fourth wreck in 2 months on this line. The state don't like it at all. Geez, that was good, but not high noon good.
All right. So you want to do both characters? One's the
Uh,
cowboy we were just talking about, and then the other one's a. You want to do those two?
yeah, there's some local about this here business. Something ought to be done. Railroad dicks ain't getting nowhere.
Now that does sound funny today because of what the term dick means today and how it is applied today. But back then, do you
Yeah.
know what the term? Do you know, Rick? Do you know what the term "dick" actually meant back in the 30s? There,
Yeah, well, obviously it could refer to somebody named Richard, but in this case, it's talking about a detective.
correct. You know, you've heard. I'm sure you've heard the term "private dick" before, like private
Yeah,
detective. So that's basically what it means. Now, of course, today it has a totally another meaning, a very nasty meaning in that, but
well,
that's another dollar for
nasty
another day,
meaning.
though.
Well, I guess
Right?
it can have a nasty meaning or not, although it's referring to the same thing. A male body, you know, you know, you can say somebody's being that male body part. That's why it has a nasty connotation. But if you're just saying
All
a
right.
guy has a that part, it's not so nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the first guy there, the one on
Yeah,
top is me, and then I'll let you do the other one. So,
yeah.
well, this is obviously, well, it's obvious that this switch was thrown over intentionally. It couldn't have been accidental. But say, what's this? Any of you boys drop a pencil?
Nope, ain't nothing. On a, ain't none of us owns one like that. There.
A silver lead pencil with the initial J on it. Not much to go on, but might be a clue. And I'll let you do the other
Better
guy, of course.
better turn it over to the police, mister. They know all about them things.
Uh, yeah, and then Tim picked up on where we were going with that. Someday go through the back end. Oh God. Oh, we can barely read it right. Okay. Uh, I'm glad Tim. I'm glad you're enjoying the story. It sounds like you're enjoying the story at least. Um. All right. So did you already read this part right here? Better
Yeah,
turn it.
yeah.
Okay. Um. Yes, maybe I will, but I've got to get to town and lodge this ship somewhere.
There'll be probably an empty hangar at the airport, mister. I'll go along with you, seeing as you're keeping that pencil.
Gee, who is this feller? Federal cop? Hmm. At the airport, giving a fictitious identity, Amon telephones the president of the railroad company. Hello, Mr. Crater. This is John Amon, reporter on the Star covering the wreck of your steamliner. I have some important information and would like to talk to you personally. I'm on my way over now.
I wonder if that's the Daily Star.
Uh, maybe not, but different universe though. So,
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking.
and at his office, he gets the president's personal cooperation. No, Mr. Mon, I can't understand it. All these accidents in 1 month. It's outrageous. But perhaps we'd better go out to the scene now in my private train. You can tell me what you know on the way.
Oh, what's that? Providing the stack track. and he became very uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Stop looking at my pencil.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that with Dick. Pencil and Dick.
Anyways.
You're both of these guys, so
Yeah, I know. I'm just well because the thing's still showing only one viewing, and I think there should be more of us than just saying one watching. So
uh,
YouTube's being a little stingy there. Anyways, well, young man, what is it? What is it you have to tell me? Say, what's that? Just a pencil, Mister Crater. A silver pencil. I found on the track near the wreck. Know anything about it? No, no. Hello. What do you want, man? You want to do that guy right there?
okay, let's see. Mr. Crater, there's a bridge washed out ahead.
Stop the train! Stop! Engineer, let me have those controls. I'll fix this wreck. With lightning speed, Amon jerks the throttle, and the wreck destined train speeds into reverse. Then, like a bullet, the president's special darts forward again, vibrating with power and lunges over the gaping ravine um, like an arrow. Look at that. Look at that.
And just so
Miraculously.
happens to land on the tracks right.
Yeah. Miraculously, it shoots down on the far side, hitting the rails wheel for wheel.
uh,
Wow.
Now, one thing I'll say about this frame, I don't like where they put the lettering over the tracks. They would have been better, I think, to put the wording of the green where it's not impeding something that you should be seeing like the rest of the tracks. Because with the lettering there, it almost looks like there's another break in the tracks.
Uh huh. Yeah. Good point. Again, though, you have to remember this was still early on, so they probably they
Yeah,
probably didn't know
uh,
any better.
yeah, I get that. Well, they should have known any better just looking at it, but that aside,
Yeah, but as you know, the saying goes, hindsight's 2020, right?
yeah, you know,
Looking back on it
it's
like we are now, and probably looking back on it even then, they realize, oh yeah, that probably doesn't look all that right.
yeah,
But
but once you print it, it's it is what it is. I
right,
just it's something I thought I'd comment on. You
yeah,
know,
no, and that's fine. I'm glad you did. It gave us something to talk about for a couple seconds ago, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Good grief, sir! How did you do that? Just a little song my mother taught me, Mr. Crater. She called me the amazing man. And in total ignorance of the true significance of Amon's laughing remark, the president orders his private train to a stop near the wrecked steamliner. And look, you
Yeah,
got the river right there too.
yeah.
That- hmm. And an extraordinary feat, Mr. Munn. It gave me quite a shock, but about this wreck. Yes, let's take another look at the pencil. The initial seems to be J, but it's not too legible. Um, Now, let me show you a little trick of the Orient. By telepathic concentration, I shall cause the pencil to write of its own volition the name of its owner. Wow! Wow! Telepathic communication.
Yeah, with a pencil. It has no brain. You cannot communicate with it. You can move it, maybe with your.
Yes, it can be telekinetically moved, but that's quite an interesting trick, though. He'd be doing, isn't it?
Yeah. And even looking at what they put on the pencil, you can tell it's not a J. You can tell that there's a little bit above the one side. So I would, just go with a U.
Yeah. There you see, the trick has its foundation in the ancient art of psychic automatic writing, in quotes. but look, the pencil writes Ulin. Hmm. That's odd. J doesn't match up with Ulin. There's something wrong. I feel strange about this. Um, Look at the pencil though. What do you think? Could it be a J or could it be something else there, Rick?
Well, as I was sort of commenting to this panel a few seconds ago, you look at it, yeah, there's part of it that's really defined, but you can see enough of it, the U part, to tell that it's actually supposed to be a U.
Oh
So
yeah,
anybody,
on the left there. Now that I see the panel there, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
easy enough to tell this is a U just with the one part a little bit faded. So anybody mistaking this for a J is just taking a really quick glance. They're not
right.
really looking at the pencil. So, he didn't even need to go through all this um,
Yeah.
phony
Yeah, so
baloney nonsense.
Tim is saying it's before the smartphone, um, the smart
The smart
pencil.
pen.
Yeah, that might be true there. Anyways, I see. The left leg of the U has worn away. But hold a minute. I seem to be getting thought message. Yes, Mr. Crater. Something tells me that the person named Yulin is in this car this very minute. And since there are only two of us here, why you bleep 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 are you accusing me of this? I'll fix you, interloping coyote. Just a minute, Mister Yulin. That gun won't do you any bit of good. I warn you. Quite an interesting twist, huh?
Yeah. Timothy says, I feel strange, just like the ropes in gym class made me feel strange.
Oh, I won't. Eh, well, Mister Amon, the railroad doesn't need the likes of you butting into its affairs. Say your prayers, Mister Amon. Now, based on what we're seeing here, what do you think is going on here?
Well, probably Mr. Euclid has been somehow manipulated or whatever, or as part of the Great Questions army.
Well, that could be one answer. Another possible answer is, could this maybe be an insurance scam? Like maybe he's causing his own wrecks to like collect a huge insurance settlement.
Well, it could be, but we haven't heard. We haven't
I
heard
know we haven't
anything.
actually. I'm just pointing it out as a
Yeah.
possibility. I'm not saying you're right in that they haven't actually given any kind of detail like that to it. But
I'm just going with the details of the story thus far. Yes, I know they could have a twist like that easy enough. But, with what the question guy said, and we know he's supposed to be the bad guy from reading, the stuff beforehand.
right. Faster than lightning, Amon leaps into action. Oh no, we're not saying goodbye yet. You have a debt to pay first. And,
Tim said,
and with
this
a
is-
and with a powerful blow sends the criminal present sprawling to the floor. Yes, Ulan, before you say goodbye, you'll have to explain to a jury just why you wrecked your own trains. Why did you do with what did you do with the insurance money? Now, I had not read this story before. Okay, this is the first time
yeah.
I've actually read this story. What did I
But you
just
know
What
what?
did I just say? What did I just say?
Yeah.
Like two
But you
panels
don't want
ago.
to know something that doesn't make sense? This guy
What?
grew up where he probably know nothing really much about. I don't know how much the monks or whatever that trained him and all that would have told him about stuff like this. How would he even know about insurance money?
Well, it's possible they could have trained. Remember, they trained them to the
Yeah.
peak of physical and mental perfection. That's what they were doing. And with that, of course,
Yeah.
they could have taught him everything he would have needed to know about the real world, about the outside world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's possible. You know,
Yeah.
he
I
would
like I
know it.
said,
They would. Maybe the monks were aware of it, and they would have taught. They basically were training him to go out into the world and be part of the world. And
yeah.
so he would have needed to know everything about the real world, and insurance would have obviously been one of those things. You know,
Yeah.
he
To
was
me, it's
trained
just even with him knowing about that sort of practice, to me, I think it's a huge leap. Without any real evidence. Oh, he's been causing them to crash. Maybe he hates the railroad for some reason. Maybe it's a revenge thing.
but he's a president of
But
his own railroad company.
uh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, it's fun to speculate
Well,
on stuff like this, though. Right?
or maybe he hates the country, right? I don't.
Yeah,
We'll find out in a few seconds here, probably.
yeah. You'll never know, Sherlock.
Although Tim's had a lot of comments here. He says, "Thought messages make meet horny singles in your area." Then he says, "Damn, it was spam thought message."
Yeah, I can.
And it's like it was then he got shot in the head. Take the bitch slap of justice. The monks worked hard at the stock exchange in New York.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So, pardon me while I fade out. Woolen, Woolen, tell these lads about it. You want to do the lads there?
All right, Kata, we heard you. Will you come peacefully?
No, never crash. Too bad, old boy.
Splash!
Too bad, old boy. Well, that finishes that. And so Amon has started his worldwide crusade against crime. But what of the great question? Will his influence dominate Amon in the next adventure? Watch for it in the next issue of Amazing Man Comics.
Okay,
Oh,
so I
that's the
guess we're
first.
not fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. So wow, an hour. That whole story through all the commentary took an hour and 10 minutes. Wow. All right, good. So getting ready to move on to the next story then. Keen
I'm just
Detective. Oh,
I'm
go
just gonna
ahead.
go grab a quick sip of something. I'm just gonna go grab a quick sip of something. I'll be back in like a minute or less.
All right. So I need to remind myself real quick of what we're. See. And just in case you guys are wondering, I'm just trying to go back and see the trying to remind myself of the specific issue here. On number 14, 2, 10. Okay. Keep that up just in case I need it. And then okay, so anyways, we're gonna wait for Tim to get back. Let's see. Railroad Tycoon. Oh no, okay, Cowboys. Oh boy. Well, at least you're enjoying yourself, right there, Tim.
Be
You
right
back,
back.
Rick?
I'm just gonna turn my fan on. I'm back.
All right. Well, Rick, if you want to talk to everybody, either give some commentary on what we just read or promote your stuff. If you can do that for a couple minutes, I got to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. Okay.
Okie dokie. Okay, Timothy, what does MSTK3K? Oh, sorry. What does MST3K stand for? I have no idea. Is it supposed to be mistake? Um, and then let's see. Okay, so I was just looking over something to give an answer to Mike. in a sec or two when he gets back. Mystery Science Theater 3000. Okay. You've never seen this show or sent you a new panel. Yeah, I saw that. I gotta download it. You might want to be asking him where panel two is because this is number 4. You've got 3. You've got 1, 3, and 4. Where's number 2? To see whether he's made a mistake on the numbering. Or if somehow he forgot to do number 2. Yeah, I looked at them. So 1 is 1, 3 is 2, and 4 is 3? Ah, okay. Yeah, I know there's only 3 right now, Tim. And I figured there was going to be more. It's just, you know.
All right. So what are you guys talking about there? Because
Oh,
um,
the newest part of the latest page of Melvin is being done one panel at a time, and
uh-huh.
I've got to ink them soon. Um, Tim he's gotten 3 of them so far. The first one was labeled number 1. The second one I got was labeled number 3, and the third one I got was labeled number 4. So it's like it's a little confusing.
Okay. Well, anyways, so now with all that, now I'm back, so we can get back. We can get to the next story here. In this issue, the Masked Marvel, Teen Detective Funnies, um, and I'm gonna try to speed up a little bit here, just so we can try to keep it. We may end up going a little past 2 hours, obviously, because we've been kind of. But I'll try to. Okay, Super Sleuth, The Masked Marvel by Ben Thompson.
Hopefully,
In
we're
a
very
large.
keen on this comic.
What was that?
I said, hopefully, we're very keen on this comic.
Well, considering it's called Teen Detective Funnies. Anyways, in a large Midwest city, Pete Scavatti, gangster chief, has the citizens in terror as a result of his ruthless gang wars and racketeering. Death by bombs or shooting is the fate of any who attempt to stop him until look, Scavatti. Here's the gun. Here's the gun that killed Officer Riley. With your fingerprints, you might as well talk. You want to do Scavatti right there?
Yes, I did it.
Newspapers herald the gangster's confession as the end of the city's reign of terror. With Scavatti sentenced to life imprisonment for the confessed murder of the policeman, other members of his gang have either disappeared or been arrested, and the authorities believe they have at last halted the mobsters. But the crook in his prison cell has other ideas.
So they think they can keep me in here? We'll see.
So that must have been the first. There's that boom right there. That's probably what they were referring to, what he did.
Yeah.
Very soon, however, Scavatti's gang resumes its racketeering on an even greater scale. Were you about to say something, Rick?
No, I'm just hiccuping a little.
Okay. Um, so this racketeering on an even greater scale. One day, a dairy truck whose owner refused to meet the gangsters' demands is blown up and the driver killed. I'm just what I'm trying to do.
I think
Three.
it's
Okay.
over and then back
Yeah, that's what I
because
was
there's a
trying to
2 in
figure.
the long.
That's what I was trying to figure out because the funny thing is the way they do some of these pages sometimes a
Hard to
little
tell.
off. Yeah. Indignant over the failure of the police to stop the gangsters, a representative of the newly formed Citizens Law and Order League calls on the district attorney. Um, you want to do this guy as well? I'll do the district
Okay.
attorney. The district attorney's the guy in blue there, but I'll let you do this guy, and I'll do the district attorney.
Okay. There isn't a thing we can do without the cooperation of victims of these men. We know what is happening, but lack of concrete evidence. The merchants, trucking companies, vegetable and fruit dealers, and others paying tribute to the gangs are too frightened by them to give us any help.
All right. It may have been reversed, but let's see what. Uh, we thought the racketeering would stop when Scavati went to jail, but someone is leading these hoodlums again. Can't be Scavati because he hasn't had any visitors at prison, and his mail is rigidly censored. We could arrest every known gangster in town, but in court we wouldn't have a penny's worth of evidence.
And that was a lot back then.
And okay. So now I kind of see. Okay, even as they talk, a terrific explosion across the street wrecks a delicatessen store. Rick, do you know what a delicatessen store is?
Yeah, meats and all that. That usually
Yeah,
they,
sandwich shop kind of thing. Yeah, basic
usually
delicatessen
mom
just
and pop stuff
just
where
the
they.
more for delicatessen is really just the more formal term for the word deli. The word we know as deli. So,
It's where you get your meat stuff. Well, your sliced
yeah.
meat a lot, or at the
Yeah,
grocery count in grocery stores.
hmm. There's an example of what I'm
Or
talking
where
about. Oh, uh, you were saying
go
something,
on.
Rick? Okay. When the police get
Oh, I was
there,
just
go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, or somewhere where you go and get a little bit of a bite to eat, a light meal.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. When the police get there, that fellow, if he's still alive, will be so terrified he won't tell who blew his place up. But the explosion had far-reaching effect, so more so than the distressed district attorney realized. So, I guess the district attorney is the one in blue there. Okay. The masked marvel in his mountain retreat views the entire situation on his uh, rowdy Rowdion detector. Okay. An apparatus that can be focused on a distant spot, no matter how far away, to project photographically on screen the entire area. Wow!
Oh, so
What what
it's
technology?
Wi-Fi. Jeez, talk about today's technology. So does it focus on rowdy people?
I guess not.
Well, it's a Rodion detector, rowdy.
All right. So let's see. I'll let you do these guys. These guys are Mass Marvels. So the Mass Marvels men ZR, ZY, and ZL ace detectives are ordered to meet him. All right, so I'll let you do these guys.
Just as long as they're not all a bunch of Z's. What's up, Wanda? Abandon your well, because you're
Oh,
reading the Mass Marvel, right?
yeah, okay. I didn't even realize. Abandon your present plan and join me as soon as possible. All right, so they leave the Northwest state, each in a small, fast plane, where the three men have been on the trail of a gang of smugglers on the Canadian border.
Woohoo! Okay, should I cheer for that or not? I'm cheering for the Canadian border, not the smugglers.
All right. To help fill a sudden increase in orders, the imprisoned Scavati is is put to work in the prison broom factory. Unknown to the warden, the brooms are being sold to the gangsters into certain brooms, which he marks notes with instructions to the gang, are hidden by Scavati. Go ahead, Scavati.
If my order it out, I'll soon be running the show again from the outside instead of the inside. All I can say is
So,
he seems to be really sweeping up.
yeah. At night, gangsters on a hilltop, miles from the prison, signal in code to Scavati, who reads the messages from his cell window. From a barred window, Scavati watches a truckload of potatoes roll into the prison. At the first opportunity, he sneaks into the warehouse. So it looks like he's going to try to
Okay,
escape. Huh?
can somebody explain how he got out of his cell? Which I would presume
It
is
could have been on a
locked.
work detail situation. I mean, he could, it could have been on a
It
work.
just says
Uh,
from a barred. Well, it says he's in his cell up above from his cell window at the bottom of the fifth panel.
all right.
Up what?
Yeah.
Up just a touch? Up a touch. See it there? From his cell window
Okay.
in the
Oh
blue.
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I don't know how then he could have done that, but you know, he could have just pulled a Shawshank Redemption. But actually, that would have been a
Yeah,
lot.
but they
That would
get.
have been too complicated, though.
Oh, did
But
we read the? Yeah, we did read the last two. Okay.
so go ahead.
The
You're
boys didn't fail me. Here's the gun. Here's the gun in the sack of potatoes they marked and smuggled in with the truckload. A guard's coming.
I think that's to be more like explorative because as the lettering is darker and bigger than the normal
Yeah.
lettering. I think it's a guard's coming. Like hiding behind
Okay.
a pillar, Scavati slugs the unsuspecting guard, steals his clothes, and gets into the warden's office.
You're going to
So
get
he's in the
me out of here in your car
you can
because he's in the he's
you
he's
can't
in
do
the
it,
guard's.
Scavati.
Oh
What was
yeah.
that?
I'm just saying that Cavani's in the guard's clothes. One false move. Okay,
Oh,
and that guy doesn't say
I
anything.
didn't. I didn't hear. You seem to be cut? You seem to cut out there for a moment. You want to do that again?
One false move, and you're dead.
All right. Outside the prison walls, the warden. Oh, wait. Oh, actually. Okay. Oh, I think
Drive,
the okay. Go ahead.
drive me out through the gates, and if anyone stops us, I'll drill you.
Outside the prison walls, the warden is forced to drive the gunman along a deserted road where the convict shoots him and throws the body out the car and over an embankment. The
Well, I
body
guess he
heads
shouldn't
back.
follow.
Oh, what was that, Rick?
Uh, I guess he shouldn't have obeyed the orders. Just got shot, and so this guy couldn't get out. He
Scavati
got
heads
killed
back.
anyways.
Yeah, Scavati heads back to the city for a secret meeting with members of his lawless gang.
Now get this straight. I'm still boss, and those coppers are going to find it out. I'm going to show them who's running this town.
Suddenly, Scavati is startled by a radio news broadcast. Police, National Guard, and G-men have begun an intense manhunt for Scavati, who escaped from prison today. We'd better scram, boss.
Quick, throw some guns in the bag. We'll get out and find me. I've got a little job to take care of out of town.
Louis, get the car.
Monk, you Abe, get 500 pounds of dynamite and meet us in Union City. Judge Ryan, who sent me to prison there, and I'm going to get even with him.
Yeah, you were a little choppy there, Rick.
Oh, want me to do again?
Yeah, why don't you do that again? See if
Monk, you and little Abe get 500 pounds of dynamite and meet us in Union City. Judge Ryan, who sent me to prison, lives there. And I'm going to get him.
even with him. um, they speed away just as a policeman tipped off about the crook's hideout arrives. Get that copper! The masked marvel is the masked marvel's big red amphibian roars over the city and lands at the nearby airport. His men have already arrived and are called at once. I'm going to see the police chief and will meet you later. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I've heard a lot about your work, and I'm sure you can help us. In that file behind you are the names of every known gangster in the city. More names that and the total list of police officers in the entire state. That's why it's going to be hard to catch Scavati again. With such a strong organization of crooks, he has almost been able to openly defy the law. The only reason he came in to answer the murder charge was because he didn't think Judge Ryan would dare send him send him up. I have a hunch where Scavati can be found, and if I'm right, there's no time to lose. Scavati has started for Union City. Will the Mass Marvel catch him? I think this is
If
Scavati
anyone,
speaking right now.
yeah, if anyone tries to stop us, shoot them down.
In Union City, Scavati calls at the mayor's office.
Tell them Pete Scavati is here, and don't call the cops if you know what's good for you. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to hold this town for $100,000 ransom.
Scavati, you must be mad!
Maddie? Well, listen to this. If you don't pay that money, my men will dynamite the city's water system, the bank, every important highway, bridge, and your home, too. If you send for help, you already know that the police can't stop us. You'll think differently before tomorrow.
Not 1 cent. Get out of here. Several cars bearing Scavati's gangsters roll into town as Scavati leaves the mayor's office in a terrific rage. A short while later, the big West Side Bridge is blown to pieces. Every bridge on the highway on highways leading into the town is destroyed, and in the darkness that night, dozens of cars plunge into the ruins. Oh, look at that! Look at that right there, Rick.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, some pretty good artwork. Although it doesn't quite look like water, in my opinion. But, you know. Well, it's not supposed to be water. It's supposed to be cement, right?
Something like
To
that.
go down into the water.
That night, a message tied to a rock is thrown through a window of the mayor's home. And then you want to read. You want to read. Well, you're Scavati, so read the letter there.
Yeah. Unless you pay up, yours and Judge Ryan's homes are next. Think it over. Scarvati.
Judge Ryan, I've just received a note from Scavati. That threatens both of us. No matter what happens, I'm against giving in to the man. There must be some way to catch him. Oh. The town is rocked by a terrible explosion that destroys one of the water supply reservoirs. In another part of town, armed thugs fire the municipal airport building. Here she goes. Soon after they arrive in the city, ZR and his two companions learn of Scavati's plan to join his mob. The masked Marvel has just joined his men. That ZR right there. I
Yeah,
gave you
okay.
the.
We've located his hideout.
Not knowing that Scavati has gone to Union City, they go to the place where ZR learned the gang chief was to meet his men. ZR and I will go there at once. ZY and ZL um, round up a couple of his thugs for information in case we don't find him. Um,
Should be here, Zia. Should be near here.
stop the car, ZR. They find the wounded policeman shot by Scavati's men. We'll rush this man to a hospital and then follow my first hunch. Oh,
Want me to do the police
Yeah,
officer?
do the police officer.
They got away. I don't know which way they went.
Right. Mass Marvel and ZR speed to Union City. We're going to Union City where Judge Ryan has his home. Scavati has an insane passion to get revenge on the judge for sending him to prison. And Union City is where we will find him. Okay, wait. It is night when they reach Union City to find the bridge on the main highway destroyed. ZR, we can't get the car across, so I'll have to go on alone from here. In one big leap, the mass marvel jumps to the other side and races into the town. Later that night, and I think we're back to you,
Yeah.
Scavati.
Okay. I think it paid a call on my friend, the judge.
Scavati throws a bundle of dynamite at Judge Ryan's home. Suddenly, the masked marvel steps from behind a tree, catches the dynamite, and snuffs out the fuse. That's the masked marvel! Let's get out of this place! Fleeing fleeing in the dark from the masked marvel, Scavati is killed when his car dives off one of the bridges he dynamited. Wow, so he is so scared that he forgot that he blew up some bridges. What a fate,
Yeah.
huh? Rick?
Or yeah. A bit ironic and all that, but in some ways very anticlimactic.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Destroyed by his own hand. That's the end of Scavati, and also the end of gangs and racketeering in the city. The Mass Marvel will be here again next month. So there we go with that one.
Yes, we will
Oh,
marvel
hour
at
40.
it.
Yeah. Well, so we may end up going a little long here, but that's okay. I did want to try. All right. So the next one then is from Amazing Mystery Funnies. Let me just check something here. Oh, that's the one. So yeah. This one won't be as long. This one will be 8 pages. The next one will be Phantom of the Fair, Dive of Death. This so number 13 or 29. Okay. There we go. And again, all of these are like at the front of the book. So Phantom of the Fair and Speed Centaur, the two main heroes of this book.
Yeah, I think the last time you read this, you read it with Timothy
Yep.
for Speed Centaur, anyways.
Yeah. Um, all right. All right. So, anyways, here we go. Phantom of the Fair by Paul Gustafson. The Phantom is the wonder genius who watches unseen over the huge world fairgrounds. A mystery miracle man always appearing unexpectedly out from his underground place whenever there is danger or trouble. This time it's on the dive of death. Boom, 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 boom. You want to do the white haired guy right there?
Okay. Out of my way before I mash your head in with this bat.
I told you the boss wasn't in. Hello, Adams. Have a seat. What's on your mind?
I'll show you in about 10 seconds.
Let's see. In a forceful way, a sore owner of a show at the fair tackles an unfair competitor. Take your hands off me, you washed up circus king. Ugh!
Well, what have you got to say about this now?
My! What a coincidence! Coincident. It looks almost like the same show. My! Adams, an old-time struggling showman, finally calls for a showdown.
It's no use. It's no use suing guys like you. I'm gonna wreck your joint if it's the last thing I do. Ever since this fair opened, you've traction I've had. You're just a cheap, chiseling crook.
They're pretty strong words, Adams. Take care of him, boys.
Come on, I'll toss your whole gang around the place.
Don't be too rough with him. Marco's men close in on old Adams, and just as somebody stalks him,
A girl says it's a girl
yeah,
saying it.
I know. Just give me a sec here. It takes me a moment to. I see that.
Female voice. I just wasn't sure whether you saw it was coming from the woman.
I just had seen it just as you said it. So, Dad,
I'm all right, Jane.
I'm going to call the police and have you thrown in jail where you belong. Go right ahead, but it will only get you in more trouble. Your father can get a nice long sentence if I press charge of assault and battery. And as for stealing your attraction, I can prove I had the idea first with little effort. Adam's courageous daughter, Jane, takes her bruised dad to their own show. I'll show you that you can't do this to my father.
Keep quiet, Jane. Through. Licked. Seems like an honest man can't compete against crooks like that. We might as well pack up the little we have left. Some every damn dime I had in this, and now it's just about gone.
No, Dad, I've a way to beat him. My high dive.
You can't. You can't. You haven't done it in over a year.
Don't worry, I can still do it. Come on, Let's go and tell Tony to start putting the tank and pull together. Meanwhile, in Marco's office, you want to do the other guy? I'm doing Marco, obviously. You want to do the other guy?
Okay. They got something this time, boss. Adam's kid is gonna do her high dive into a tank.
What? They got something there. There isn't one in the country that can top her. Yeah, she's the best there is, but something might go wrong.
You got something there, boss. Are you sure you can do it, Jane?
Yes, Dad. Make sure those depth markings are right, Tony. If the water's less than 6 feet, I'll hit rock bottom. Yes, ma'am. They're perfect to an eighth of an inch. The following morning, Marco pays a visit to his neighbor Adam's new fair attraction. Nice feature you have, Adams. I hope everything goes all right.
Sure, I have a nice feature, and this was the one time you couldn't get someone to come anywhere near it. Now get away from here.
Did you take care of things? Yeah, boss. She'll be diving into 5 feet of water instead of six. Um, I took off their numbers and painted new ones on. With only 10 inches to a foot. Oh
I
boy.
think that was the guy you gave me, but
Oh, oh, maybe I did. I don't. Let's see.
no
Oh
biggie.
well. Oh yeah. Okay.
I'll
Well,
just take him in the next frame. A lot,
right. Sorry about that. um, Bond.
no problem.
Here, go in and see the show and tell me about it later.
Okay, boss, but I don't like to see.
Shut up. Someone may hear you. It's all set, Mr. Adams. Water's up to 6 feet.
Okay, Tony. Sorry, folks, but there's Full House. There'll be another show in half an hour.
Within a few minutes, Jane is hoisted to the top of the pole, unaware of what has gone before. Let's see. Okay, Tony,
Okay.
over the oh. Okay, Tony, over to the tank in case anything should go wrong. No, nothing's gonna go wrong. Oh, oops, sorry. Go ahead. I thought that was her, but that wasn't her. That was him. Go ahead, read that.
I thought it might have been him, but I wasn't going to say that. Okay, Tony. Over to the tank in case anything should go wrong.
Nothing's gonna go wrong, Mr. Adams. Look, I filled up to the 6 foot mark, and I'm only 5'2". Mr. Adams, Jane, and I'm only 5'2". Mr. Adams, Jane, she'll be killed. Bef- um, Before Jane sees her father and Tony's warnings, she dives into the tank containing less water than she absolutely needs for safety. From a nearby building, the sharp eyes of a mysterious person um, see what has happened. Instantly, with the speed of lightning, he jumps toward the tank and strikes the water, but a split second. The phantom! As Jane's father and Tony reach the side of the tank, they stop cold.
Great saints, only a hole left from where they hit.
I'll go for an ambulance and firemen. Far below the ground, the Phantom brings Jane safely to the surface of an underground river. Don't be frightened. You're quite safe. What happened? Where am I? Oh, the Phantom. I don't understand all this.
Yeah, just to set this tank up over an underground river. And how much earth did they go through to get to that?
I can't answer you on that one, Rick. Can't really answer you on that one. Again, the lovely thing about comics of the golden age, right?
Yeah, no one thinks. We'll just write it. Nobody will be smart enough to think about this. They treat us like we're dumb. We're not.
Remember, it was back in the early days of was back in the early days of comics. So, um,
Yeah,
anyway,
I know. I just I have to, make a little fun of it. Gives us
yeah.
something to comment on.
Hmm. You will later. I think I had better take you to your father. He probably thinks you are dead. Take a deep oh oh take a deep breath and hold it. With Jane on his back, the Phantom dives through a passage in the underground river and comes to the surface of the tiny lake near the amusement park. You will have to go the rest of the way yourself. I have things to do that require great haste. But wait! Before Jane has a chance to speak, the Phantom swings high to the roof of the building.
And there's another thing. They're under that hole. Why not just somehow go up instead of, very far away? Or yell up, we're
Well,
safe, we're alive?
yeah. You're up there, Adams.
Oh, yeah. Jane, I can't believe it. Where did you come from?
I don't know, Dad. It all happened so suddenly. My head is still spinning.
It can't be.
Father and daughter are
No,
miraculous. Oh, are miraculously um, reunited as one of Marco's men looks on. Now go.
no, she's alive. I gotta tell the boss.
As let's see. Okay. So yeah. As Marco's thug runs through the entrance, the Phantom swings from the roof and sweeps him off the ground.
I didn't do nothing. I was just going for an ice cream cone.
I figured there would be someone nearby who had a hand in all this. Would be all this would be leaving in a hurry when Jane Addams returned. Now talk fast before I decide to use my own means of making you. As the Phantom pushes the thug against the wall, his coat rips, revealing a paint smeared shirt. Oh, you don't have to talk now. I've seen enough.
No, it ain't. If I didn't do it, someone else would have. It was all Marco's idea. He has the concession across the street.
Murder for money, you lowly swine.
No!
In a resounding crash, the thug strikes the ground in front of the crowd.
One of Marco's men, and his shirt is smeared with the same paint as the letters of the tank.
You can't do anything to him, Adams. He's dead.
Superheroes of this era.
Yep.
No respect for life. No, and trying to kill Jane.
Dad, look. As the crowd turns, they see a glimpse of the speedy Phantom entering Marco's golden palace.
Stay here, Jane. There's something's gonna happen in there. Come on, man.
I'm going too. Tearing the door loose from its hinges, the Phantom enters Marco's office. Your plans failed, and one of your men just paid for it with his life. Now I've come to square things for Adams with you. So you're gonna put the finger on me, he he. Here's to you. Like a flash, the Phantom hurls several chairs and sends Marco sprawling across the room into the wall. I'm not through yet. Meanwhile, the crowd outside.
He's in Marco's office.
Listen to the noise. Sounds like an earthquake. As the men rush into the office, the Phantom throws Marco at them. And before they can get to their feet again, is on his way out the window.
He's gone. Man, he certainly moves fast.
You won't have any more trouble, Adams. I'm done for now. I
Don't let Jane see this. Where is she?
Gee, I wonder what he's really like. Somehow I wish this would happen all over again. I might be able to keep my head then and see what he's like.
Just like
What was that, Rick?
just like a woman.
Oh
And
boy.
then I said, no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Okay, just like some women.
Yeah. Wonder how your mom might respond to something like that.
Who knows?
Another episode of The Phantom of the Fair will appear in the next issue. All right. So we're done with that one. Let's see, where are we at on time? So we're just past the 2 hour mark. So yeah, I think we have enough time to get through that one last story of the Arrow, and then get to. Anyways. All right. Let's see now. I need to remind myself because the tricky thing with some of these Centaur titles, um, how they were indexed is completely different from. Yeah, so 38. Okay. 38 or number 31. Yeah. how some of them were indexed is a little funky, to say the least. Yeah, that's it right there. All right, so funny pages, fun for the entire family. Hold your hat, Pop. Here we go again.
Hey, there's no standing in those there roller coasters.
Mm-hmm. The Arrow by Paul Gustafson. So this will be the last story we do, and then we'll start to wrap up soon here. So we'll wrap up after that. Okay. A fast Rick, I'm just going to go ahead and just read this myself, just to try to speed things along a little bit because we're already past the 2 hour
Well, you're
mark.
doing that then. Yeah. Well, you're
Huh?
doing that then. I'm just gonna go grab another. I'm just gonna go grab another sip of something to drink while
Okay.
you're reading.
All right. All right. A fast car comes to a stop in front of a jewelry store. A man steps out of it and enters the store. Hmm. It's a perfect set of star sapphires and costs quite a bit. That's all right. I can well afford them. They are valued at $500,000, and a bargain at that. Very reasonable. I'll take them. Uh, a hold up. That's right. Now hand me the gems. As the jeweler hands the armed man the gems, he reaches for the burglary alarm signal. Not so fast, my friend. I never miss, and my eyes are watching every one of you, so stay where you are.
And I'm back.
All right. And of course, feel free to comment on anything if anything strikes your interest there, Rick.
Yeah, those top panels are definitely small.
Yeah. Quickly, the mysterious thief yeah, arrives, no, leaves the store and speeds off in his car. Call an ambulance, hurry! Look, he left a card on the counter. It's a calling call. It's a calling card. The wisp.
And he really whisked himself away.
All right. Two of them. Yeah. What kind of a car did they have? A sedan, about 5 or 6 years old. Do you think we'll be okay, Doc? Do you think he'll be okay, Doc? Yes. The bullet didn't do any internal damage. Well, have a dragnet out for them so tight that they won't be able to move an inch. While in the Wisp car, there's a garage. All right, no one's following us. Is our car fixed yet? Yep, just as good as new. $50, but it weren't worth more. And the rest is for letting us use your car. In the meantime, so long. And then there's that upper panel. uh,
Oh, they do those small panels on the top of every page.
yeah. At least for this particular feature.
Yeah.
Tune in on the police calls while I change. Okay, I wonder if anything broke yet. Huh. They've a dragnet throughout the city looking for that garage man sedan. That's rich, and now we're even past the state line. In the back seat of the car, the wisp changes clothes and becomes her true self. Oh, wow! Wow, she was dressed like a guy. She was
Yeah.
dressed like a man. Wow!
Uh, so does that make her a they?
What was that, Rick?
Does that make her a they or a
A
he
date?
she?
I guess so. I don't.
I'm just joking about the whole trans thing.
Oh.
Is she a trans man?
Oh.
Trans woman?
I don't think they were even thinking that back then.
Oh, that's
Um,
true. I just
what's on next up? Uh, Cleveland. There's a bank vault there. That's all as easy to get into as a museum. Meanwhile, a car pulls into the tiny garage where the Wisp borrowed the sedan. The Wisp? So that's why he wanted his car checked over so he could use mine in his dirty work. Yes, now which way did they go? That way, say, who are you anyway? You'll soon know. As the car speeds off, a steel arrow with a note tied to it strikes the post next to the garage man.
garage man. Da 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 da.
And uh-huh. Call the police and have them search your car for fingerprints, etc. Signed, the arrow. How was I to know who they were? Yes, the car's right here. Hey, wait, there's more. Uh, they hung up. After hours of driving at full speed, the arrow spots the car fitting the description given by the garage man. Kind of funny. Every time we slow down, that car behind us does its does it's someone tailing us, all right? Step on it. We'll have to ditch them so I can get rid of these clothes.
Um,
Ah,
may I
ah.
ask you, Crook? Um, do you want him to slow down? Don't you want him to slow down when you do? Because if he doesn't, he's gonna crash into your rear end,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and you're on
Huh.
like a 2-lane highway.
Huh. They're trying to lose me. It must be the wisp, but I had better make sure before I strike. In a cloud of dust, the Arrow's car pulls up next to the Wisp's. It's them, all right. Turning his wheel sharply, the Arrow cuts off the Wisp and her partner, and their car crashes through the railing along the mountain road.
That could kill them.
Oh, they go
I
off the
doubt.
road. Let's see what happens. And lands in the roaring waters of the river below.
Splash!
Yep. I'm ready for you, whoever you are.
After that crash, you're ready for somebody?
Well, they landed in water, so it wasn't like the car hit anything hard. So maybe she was able to get out. You know, after they
Yeah, but
landed.
still, I know people do, but it's still a bit would be a bit disorienting, I would think.
Yeah. Look, someone's diving off the ledge up there. Yeah, the arrow. The arrow. Open up at him.
And what is that? A ray gun?
Maybe, I don't know.
The way that they drew it, the next panel looks like a real gun, more of a real gun, but
Yeah. I'm glad we got him. He's the one person whose path I don't like to cross. Come on, we can use Joe. He's gone. Or, come on, we can use Joe. He's gone. Hmm. This will keep you safe for a while. As the wisp scrambles up the bank, she turns and spots the arrow. Instantly, she turns her gun toward him. Before she is able to fire, the arrow draws his bow, and her gun is smashed into smithereens. You win. I know when I'm beaten. Meanwhile, the police have reached the garage. Sounds like a fishy story to me. But he said that one of the two men was the wisp. Two men, huh? How about these blonde marks we found on the back of the front seat? They're long and from a woman. No woman ever rode in that. In that, look out! That's
oh,
one of the men. Oh, that's one of the men, but he's got a blonde woman with him now. He pushed him out, and he's driving off again. The star sapphire bracelets pinned to her. Listen to this. If you want more evidence, her disguise as a man is in her car at the bottom of the river. So 100 miles upstream. The Arrow. Another episode of The Arrow will appear in the next issue. All right, so there we go. That one went a bit quicker.
yeah, a few less pages.
Well, that one was 6. So basically, in order, they're 10, 10, 8, 6. Those were the page counts. So a grand total of 34 pages. And basically, had it not been for the intro stuff, we probably would have had that done inside of 2 hours. But we're at like 2 hours and 19 minutes here. So we're going to start to wrap up here. I'm going to go right into this day in each history.
Sounds
History!
good.
Let me just 1933, 2018, and 1999. Okay, so without any further ado, today is Friday, January 27th, 2022. So let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! So first off, we're going to head back 90 years ago today, as on this date, 90 years ago today, back in 1933, the Fleischer Studios cartoon, Betty Boop's Crazy Inventions, premiered in theaters on this date back in back in 1933. Betty Boop's Crazy Inventions is a 1933 Fleischer Studios animated short film featuring Betty Boop. This cartoon was first theatrically released with the Mae West film She'd Done Him Wrong. Plot. At the Inventor's Show, Betty, Bimbo, and Coco the Clown demonstrate a variety of Yeah, I've seen this cartoon before on some of the nostalgia channels and shows recently within the past year. So the spot remover, a large steam-powered device that removes the spot by cutting a hole in the fabric. Okay. The cigarette snuffer, a mechanical foot sniffs out the cigarette, then a mechanical hand sweeps it up. The soup silencer. Parts from a music box are installed on a spoon to convert the slurps to music. Okay. The sweet corn regulator. A typewriter is adapted to position the corn for easy eating. The voice recorder. The self-threading sewing machine, a mechanical hand and eyeball thread the needle. So when the automated sewing machine gets out of control and proceeds to sew various things together, Bimbo and Betty escape via an umbrella that turns into a helicopter.
Oh,
All right.
jeez, I wonder where the penguin got his idea.
Ah. So 90 years ago today, Betty Boop's Crazy Inventions premiered in theaters. Oh, moving on.
Yeah, I just say I hope there's one of those stains that it cuts the fabric out for the stain isn't in a not so good place.
All right. So, anyways, moving on to the next piece in each history as we move ahead to this date in 1999, which was 24 years ago today. On this date, 24 years ago today, in 1999, the fifth issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Dark Horse Comics went on sale on this date. The series ran for 63 issues, so since it is one of the more offbeat comics, title of the story: Happy New Year. Written by Andy Watson, penciled by Hector Gomez, inked by Sambu Florea, lettering done by Janice Chong, with Guy Major doing the coloring. So on this date, 24 years ago today, back in 1999, the fifth issue of Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Dark Horse went on sale on newsstands on this date, 24 years ago.
Fluffy the dog slayer.
Anyways, and moving on to the final piece of niche history.
Would it be better Fluffy the cat slayer?
Yeah. On this date, 5 years ago today, back in 2018, from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, WWE's developmental program, NXT, had its NXT Takeover event in Philadelphia, in which in the main event. Okay, as soon as I can get to, okay. Main event saw Andrade Cien Almas, who currently goes by the name Andrade El Idolo in AEW. He defeated Johnny Gargano to retain the NXT Championship. Also on the card, Aleister Black, aka Malachi Black in AEW, defeated Adam Cole in an Extreme Rules match. Ember Moon, aka Athena in AEW, retained the NXT Women's Championship over Shayna Baszler, who is now, of course, on the main roster. The Authors of Pain, with Paul Ellering in their corner, retained the. They lost. The show started off with an NXT Tag Team Championship match in which the champions, the Undisputed Era of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, defeated the Authors of Pain, who were led to the ring by the legend Paul Ellering. So And notes from this show included War Machine, Ricochet, and EC3 all made their first appearances in NXT by being shown watching the event from ringside. EC3, of course, now is in NWA. Catch him on the NWA Power program. Ricochet is on the main roster now. And Candice LeRae, who is also on the main roster and the wife of Johnny Gargano, appeared during the NXT Championship match, coming from the crowd to attack Zelina Vega. So there we go. So there we go on that one. Anyways, guys, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Rick, what did you think of everything tonight?
Good, good, good. It's interesting that well, I'm not sure whether in a previous issue we would have learned the secret identity of the Phantom of the Fair or the Arrow, because neither of those, as far as I know, I know the secret identity of.
Well, if you remember at the beginning, of the show, I did kind of go over the origin of the Arrow. The thing with the Arrow,
Oh
the
yeah,
reason we probably don't know too much about that is because, as I said, you know, I just
yeah,
started reading the feature starting
yeah,
tonight, and he'd already been running for a while. So,
yeah.
um,
I guess I'm more meaning in the story. Yeah, we know from those articles. Yeah, and I forgot that we knew from the articles, but we don't
yeah.
see them in their alter egos. We just see them.
But with that, guys, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope and we'll be back on Sunday, of course, for our panel show. And Rick, I hope you'll be able to join me. Hope you can stick around for a couple minutes after we sign off here
Yeah,
for post show, as you know. And with that, I think I shall. Before we go, then let me just do that real quick, okay? I believe I will just bid everybody adieu. Um, thank you all for being here. I hope to see everybody back here on Sunday.
late.
Bye.
Bye bye.